with this word here, which is called a conjunction. We call this a conjunction. That's a word that we use to combine two sentences to make a compound sentence. But when we have a compound sentence, we still have the same order. We have a subject, we have a verb, we have an object. We have a subject, we have a verb, we have an object. That order is very, very important in order to understand what the words in the sentence mean. It's what we call context. Okay?
May I ask
Yeah.
questions? The first question, the second sentence, we saw dances, comma. Is it unnecessary to use comma when you use and? Need more than three sentences?
It's a very good question. Very good question. There is no definite rule. There is no definite rule. The rule is if the meaning is absolutely clear to the reader, then a comma is not necessary. If you want to make, if you're writing a sentence and you want to make sure that the reader understands it's a compound sentence, then you would add a comma. So usually what you do when you're writing a compound sentence is usually you will use a comma because that tells the reader that we've got one sentence here that's been combined with another sentence. And if we didn't have that comma, then someone might say that it might not be obvious to the reader that it is a compound sentence. So usually you will put the comma there. Usually you will put the comma there if it is a compound sentence. If it is a compound sentence. And in order for it to be a compound sentence, you have to have two complete sentences. They have to be, each sentence has to express a complete thought. So here we've got a subject, we have a verb, we have an object, we have a subject, we have a verb, we have an object. We have a modifier for the noun. We have a modifier for a noun. Notice the modifiers came in front of the noun. We would not say, we saw Dance's Dragon. No, that wouldn't make sense. And we attended opera Chinese. No, we wouldn't do that. We would say Chinese opera, dragon dances. Okay? Now, what we're going to do, we're going to practice a few times. We're going to practice some. We won't do the whole exercise because I want to save some time to continue reading with our story, Slumdog Millionaire. So we're going to practice a few, and then tomorrow we'll continue practicing a few more. Okay, and for several days we'll take a little bit of time and work on sentence order. We call, you'll hear this term used sometimes, when we talk about the order of words in a sentence, the term that people use to talk about that is syntax. What syntax refers to is the way we structure or order the words in a sentence. That's just a grammar term. You don't need to know that in order to actually speak English, but you sometimes will hear me referring to syntax because what I'm referring to is the order of words in a sentence, which is just like pitch, tone is very important in Thai and Chinese. Syntax or the order of words in a sentence is very, very important in English. And other European languages too, like German, it's also very important.
Excuse me, teacher. I would like to clear my understanding about and by. In the first sentence, you use yesterday I took the taxi to Chinatown. The teacher, when I want to use yesterday, I went to Chinatown with other people by the water taxi. Is it the same or different meaning between took and by?
That would mean the same. Read it again for me, please. Read it again.
Can you both?
Yeah, the way you read it would be an acceptable order. That would be an acceptable order. You could say, I could say, I took the water taxi yesterday to Chinatown. That would also be correct.
Yesterday, I went to Chinatown with the other teachers by the water taxi.
You could do that. You could do that.
The same way, same.
The important thing is that it's said in a way that people can understand clearly what you mean. So there can be different ways of saying the same thing. The thing you want to remember is that for the meaning to be clear to whomever you're speaking to, if you start with a subject, then a verb, then an object, that will be more clear to whom you're speaking with. Now the modifiers can, you can move those around a little bit.
Depend what do you want to emphasize.
Yeah,
taxi or you want in this sentence you emphasize to the water.
See, I could, you would. Emphasis would be important. I could say, I went to Chinatown yesterday with my friends by water taxi. But notice that the subject came first, the verb came second, and then the objects. The modifiers, those can go in different places depending upon what you want to emphasize. But we had a subject, we had a verb, we had an object. Okay? So, let's practice a few. So we're going to turn to page 130. To page 130. And this is just some practice sentences that we can work with. And in this exercise, the sentences have been arranged incorrectly. And we have to figure out the correct order. Now you'll notice in the instructions, let's look at the example that's wrong. I saw yesterday, you see where I am at the top of the page? Wrong, where it says wrong. I saw yesterday my friend. Well, we wouldn't say that. We would say, I saw my friend yesterday. Or we could say, yesterday I saw my friend. So we want to practice with word order. We'll start with number 1, and I'll do the first one. So I'm going to read it incorrectly the first time, and then I'm going to read it correctly. Okay? So this is the incorrect way. he has been 2 years in this country. Well, the problem with that, I want to say he has been in this country 2 years. Because the object, well, the subject is he, has been is the verb, but where has he been? Well, the object is in this country. So we want the object to come after the verb, and then 2 years tells us how long. I'll do another one. Number 2, he is studying now English at Columbia University. Well, that's incorrect. If I want to say that correctly, I would say he is studying English now. Because when we're using an adverb is a modifier that describes a verb. Adverbs almost always come after the verb. They almost always come after the verb. So I would say he is studying English now at Columbia University. Or another way of saying this is he is now studying English. That would be correct too. That would be.
But may I use